I feel like when there's people you look up to that are always bubbly and happy and entertaining, like how are they doing internally? There's so many times I have been struggling, I've gone on and made a funny video and I'm struggling, but people's comments help me. Like, as much as people think I help them, it is very much a 50-50.
Meet Abigail Parkinson, an absolute powerhouse in the world of social media and a rising star in acting. Hailing from the charming little village of Kesh, Northern Ireland, Abigail has captured audiences across the globe with her creativity, authenticity, and undeniable talent. Having raked up millions upon millions of views online, Abigail has mastered the art of storytelling on social media, whilst also showing the trials and tribulations along the way. We are kicking off 2025 with a bang. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, or whatever you fancy, because you are watching the official Young Hunger podcast. My name is Michael Burgess, and we present to you Miss Abigail Parkinson.
Hi, I'm Abigail. I'm an actress and a content creator, and I'm excited to be on the pod.
Abigail.
Oh, you pick. There's no...
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Have you came all the way from Kesh?
Yes,
Have
but
you?
I have, but I'm staying in Belfast today.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll actually admit I've never been in Kesh in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard good reports
Yeah.
after seeing your content and stuff.
Yeah, I should do a village tour.
What's the go-to thing in Kesh? Like what do you get up to?
Oh, it's just like me and my family, and like some sheep.
Yeah.
That is it. There's a
Yeah.
pub, there's 2 Chineses to be fair, and a pizza place, and that would be it.
Kesh sounds like the spot.
It's the place to be.
Yeah. I like the way you sort of incorporate that into your content. Like you sort of make that like a thing. Like I actually want to go see Kesh or go do Kesh now.
Okay, well that's good.
Because I've never been actually over that way, but
Yeah.
I guess it sort of gives me a bit of an excuse and
Yeah.
stuff. So you actually do like, hold on a minute, I actually have a real funny thing here. Were you a rugby player?
Yeah.
Were you a rugby player?
Yeah. I was prop of the year.
Were you?
Yeah. I swear.
just in case there is any swear words, we'll just beep it out as well.
If you need to look up Enniskillen Rugby Club's records, under a team prop of the year.
Seriously? And your brother did rugby and...
Yeah, and my little sister as well.
I actually think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, it's very Fermanagh. Like, I didn't realise it was, like, I went to an all-girls school.
Yeah.
So, like, I played in Kingspan, like, 5 times.
No, you didn't, did you?
Yeah, but I didn't really realise, like, my sister played in the Aviva. Like, we
No
didn't
way.
really realise that was a big deal. Like, I credit a lot of my stuff to, like, country living because you're just kind of floating about and you're like, yeah, that sounds fun, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't really realise the magnitude.
Yeah.
Like, I remember going, one of my friends, it was his, like, he played for Ulster, or he plays for Ulster, and it was his, like, debut, and we were all at Kingspan, but it was, like, my first time being in an Ulster game. I was like, oh, this is, like, a big deal. I was like, there's a lot of people here.
The guys I've played here, just let
Yeah,
you know.
I was like, hurry up, I've already been here.
I know. See, actually growing up in Kesh, like, being over that sour side, like,
Yeah.
sort of being a big star in the community and stuff, was there anything that made you, like, you, as, like, growing up there and things?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think the reason I do what I do and why, well, I've always had the desire to be on screen and act and all that, and that's like my number one thing is my acting, but because I'm a middle child, I've always needed attention and I've never got it, so I...
My brother would say the exact same.
Yeah, I think a lot of this comes from middle child syndrome.
Think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I love that. Like, tell you one thing, actually, see whenever you're doing the content, where does, like, the comedic side come from? Is that your mum? Or is that your sister? Or where does that rub off? Because I'll tell you one thing. My brother, first time I ever came across you, my brother said, have you seen this one girl on TikTok?
Oh,
I was like, no. And then whenever I seen it, like, it was funny. And then I could see why your content sort of, like, does the way it does.
That's actually really interesting to hear because like 90% of my audience is female.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My brother's not that over 10.
No, but that's nice to hear because it's not ever, like I think now people talk about strategies and like things that I never went in with one. That wasn't, wasn't the plan. It was actually a weight loss page to start with anonymously. So it was never trying to be what it is.
Yeah.
But like, it's... like people will laugh, but it's a trauma response. Like how I like to make people laugh. There is like I'm a trained actress. There's that element of like I like to entertain. Like I'll never forget when I was first on stage, and this is like a really weird story, but I was playing this like crazy character, and there was supposed to be like stuff in this pot, and I had to get it out and throw it. Like was it flour or something? I don't even know. But anyways, it wasn't there. The props hadn't when I say props, this was like your 18-year-old, the Ardone Theatre in Fermanagh. Like, it just wasn't done.
Yeah.
And there was nothing in the pot, and I looked in, and I had to say, there was a live audience, and I was like, uh-oh. So whatever I came up with, was there noodles or something there?
Did you throw the noodles?
I threw the noodles and had made up an entire, and we were doing Shakespeare, so I had to improv in Shakespeare kind of language.
Yeah.
Which was not a good idea. But everyone was in stitches because it was clearly off script, or like it was just so fresh and whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget. And
the face probably. Was just
and my mum and my sister were like near the front row, and I could hear them laughing. And I felt like it was like, do you know, like a cartoon character when you give them energy? I was like, more. I need to make people laugh.
Did you get away with it though? Like, did people think that was part of it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Got a nice star.
What did like the acting and all come into play? Like, was that something you had like a God-given talent, or did you sort of morph into that?
It's definitely a God-given desire. Whether it's a God-given talent is to be decided. My little sister always says it had to have been like instilled in me from birth, because like from the minute I could talk, that's what I wanted to do. Like, I'm talking like 3. I was like, I'm gonna be an actor. They were like,
hair flick.
Yeah. But it never, like, I really don't have the answer. That's how, like, I have a very big faith. I know it was a God-given thing. I still don't have the answer for it, because it hasn't happened the way I thought it would. Yeah. Even though bits are taken off and I'm always auditioning for things. But that's probably the toughest thing about posts online. I can't talk about it, because you sign a lot of NDAs and stuff. So I would love to share that, and when I'm in a position to do so, I will. But acting's my number one thing. It's my favourite thing. But I think when there's like a drought in jobs, being able to go on my phone and entertain is like feeding that desire for me.
Because you went over to like Chicago and a couple, was that for like, was it schooling? Or
acting school, yeah. I was at improv school there. It's actually the school that trains people for like Saturday Night Live, which is like comedy and improv and stuff. So that
right up your street.
Well, which when looking back, I honestly did it because I didn't get into any drama schools. I decided I didn't want to go to uni because I wanted to act. I was going to be a star. And I was like, no, I don't have time for a degree or for freshers week. I simply haven't got the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't get in anywhere, which is very normal. There's like a statistic, I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but and it's like it's 10 times harder to get in to an acting school than to get into like Harvard medicine or something. Like, it's really difficult, which I didn't know. Again, come from the country, I was very naive with that. So like these people that you're up against are like 25 when you're coming out and you're 18. Like, I probably would have a shot getting in now at 28, but I feel like life's a wee bit different now. But acting skills was always something I wanted to do, but there's so many different ones. So I ended up going to a private one, but it took me 2 or 3 years to get in. What was the question? I forgot.
I guess it was just, I'm really fascinated about like the acting and like
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
So the reason I'd love to be like, like that was like part of the dream to go there. I literally was like, what am I going to do with my life? So this was in between. I didn't get into acting schools, and there was like was it 12-week or 8-week thing in Chicago, and I was like, why not?
Did you go over on your own?
I went by myself. There was a girl there's this thing called YWAM. If you ever had it's like in churches. I don't know if it's like a Church of Ireland thing or I don't know, but there's this American group of people that will come over and do like youth work. So there was a youth worker called Mackenzie who came over, and I remember being like, so they were like, so hey, how are you? And I was like, I don't have time to talk to the weird Americans. She became my best friend. Like, she was older. She was, I don't know what age she would have been, but she did my makeup for like she was really cool. Whereas normally like the Christian people I'd seen, they were like hippies and not like cool. She did acting, and I was like, she is amazing. Yeah. So she was the only contact that I had. Now she was like a lot older than me, like maybe 5 years older than me, but one of her friends, who I'd obviously never met, had a sofa, and I flew to America by myself. Never been to America in my life.
That's ballsy, isn't it? Like,
yeah. When I think back, I was 18, 19. Oh my gosh, that's like 10 years ago. Flew to America. I remember the customs, they were like, they give the sheets out on the way over, and I was like, I'm going to prison. They were like, you can't have like food in your bag. I had wheat and bread. I was like, I am not going to make it. And
proper cash woman.
I was like, Mum had me 2 loaves. She had one for me and one for like the host.
Yeah.
So I was also getting off this plane to meet someone there that I literally had a photo of her Facebook. Like, that was all I knew. I was going to this lady's house, which is like crazy when you think about it. When I got my suitcase or my rucksack, whatever I brought with me, and this woman came up and she said, "Are you Abigail or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah," but I had to go through like the custom bit, and the one was like, "Have you anything to declare?" I was like, "Yeah, I do," and they're like, "Right over there." I was like, I definitely had like
You're smuggling wheat in
they were, "What have you got?" And I was like, "I've got wheat and bread," and they were like, "Go!" Like literally, the woman laughed. She was like, "Leave."
Yeah.
I was like, I made it into America. So then I went and I did that. I wasn't creating content then, which I wish I had been because it would have been great. But if I'd have walked down the street in America, like holding my phone like this, no one would have blinked twice, which is I think we could do with here.
As if you're in Belfast and you're doing that,
I
probably
would
get a
die.
couple looks and stuff.
No, like I am very
Okay.
strategic.
Yeah.
No, and how and when I pull my phone out because I would get skundered. But there is a saying that like embarrassment is the entry price to this industry.
Yeah.
And it's the same as auditions. Like a lot of people don't, well, no one except the people in the industry see the auditions that I do. When I say, I was trying to count them in the car on the way up, like over 1,000 auditions for things that would change your life overnight, or you don't hear about them. You just got to get on with your day.
Yeah.
And that's embarrassing if you want to look at it that way. Or like me creating a video talking about something vulnerable is embarrassing, or, you know, whatever it is, there is a level of you've got to take it on the chin, the cringe, the embarrassment, the judgment. And I do think in Northern Ireland, we're still learning, whereas in America, it's a lot more open. Maybe that's a very general statement, but that was my experience with the two.
Yeah.
But my long-term goal is acting. There's no shadow of a doubt. In Belfast, I can't say, there's a lot of things here. Like I'm talking HBO, Netflix, big productions of the Titanic Studios, and Dublin as well. There's so many things going on that you actually might need to go.
For it? Yeah.
My dream would be to live here. Like my family's here. Like I could not leave. My sister and her babies and my mom and everything long term. So I'll always be stationed here. But like I'm a busybody. I love being busy. So like I can see myself traveling all over the place for jobs. But it is looking like there will be a lot of jobs coming here.
What about like just when you were talking about the TikTok? See, starting that's going back to the very, very beginning and pushing past that sort of anxiety and fear of what other people think.
Yeah.
How did you manage, or how did you cope?
I feel so blessed because I didn't really have to. It was in COVID, and it was an anonymous page. So I didn't feel any stakes. I didn't care. No one. It was like what I was eating in a day and how much weight I'd lost. It was like bird's eye view. My hands were in it. That was it. Until I did a weight loss transformation video, and then that had my face in it, and then it was my little sister, I think, or did I had said to her, "What do you think?" And she was like, "Yeah, like who cares?" Da, da, da. I was like, "Yeah, post," and it got like 25,000 views. Which I was like, "I'm famous. I am a star." I think it's gone viral. Whereas now I'd be like, "Oh, it's only 25 views."
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that was tough because I was talking about an eating disorder. So that I was really like, my heart was pounding because I was like, that's very vulnerable and it's online. But I still, like my mum was supportive and my little sister was supportive, and it was COVID. That was the only people that were around me for 6 months. I came out of COVID with, I think, 10,000 followers. So I had a nice, safe bubble of if people were judging me, unless it was a troll comment in it, which can be blocked, I didn't really know. Which is, I think, the best way to, if you were starting now, you've got to block out that noise, because it can be rough. Like
You actually talked. I don't want to get like too personal, but like
sorry,
you
go for it.
you had an eating disorder.
I
is that
did,
it?
yeah.
Just in case someone's watching this and
Yeah.
maybe has something similar and stuff, I was wondering if there's any advice you may have for someone that was maybe in your position when you maybe needed advice.
Yeah. Like, you're so not alone. I couldn't believe, like, when I posted that, the biggest thing for me was, like, I really wasn't trying to do anything great or help anyone. Like, I really wasn't. I was just posting my own story as, like, a sort of, I was redundant, I was bored, I just needed something creative to do. The amount of messages of people that I knew, that I was friends with, that struggled with something too. Like, I guess the industry I'm in, like, I had done beauty pageants and, like, promotional modelling, which is not, like, modelling. But girls' looks, your value can be based off that. And I would, like, there was few and far between didn't struggle. So it was really comforting to know you're definitely not alone, and you definitely can get help. And I think as well, like, a lot of people were like, you need to tell this person, tell that person. No, you don't. Like, speak to someone. And like you will definitely get through it, but it can be a scary, lonely thing. And I think, but with men too, like I think a lot of people think it's women who want to be thin. Like it is, there's so many things to it that like I'm uneducated in. So that's why I've now started, like I was always there to happy to help people. But then when it got to the point where I was like, there was, I'll never forget, there was a girl that was really struggling. And most pages can be anonymous, and I didn't have a number for her. I was worried about it, and this is someone I don't know. And I wasn't equipped to help, and I wanted to. So thankfully she was all okay the next morning. But it's a very scary and dark place, and I think people can look at influencers getting things gifted, and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, like you got a free bottle of tan. It's like,
yeah,
you pay a price in a very different way.
That people might not see.
No, they don't.
I definitely didn't see it until
Yeah.
I started like looking
Yeah.
like, into your sort of career and things.
Yeah.
Was that Hungry Hot Mess? Is that the
Yeah,
the
Hungry Hot Mess.
Yeah.
As Alex Earl is this big TikToker, her podcast is called Hot Mess. I was like, I did it first. But I love
Copyright.
it. Yeah, I should have
Yeah.
copyrighted it.
I know. No, I'm so surprised whenever I seen that, because like about the eating disorder, because like that was probably the last thing I was ever going to think of after watching
Yeah,
your content.
I think like it's very much like Joe Robin Williams played Mrs. Doubtfire, and obviously he committed suicide. Unfortunately, was someone that people look at as an entertainer, and I feel like when there's people you look up to that are always bubbly and happy and entertaining, like how are they doing internally? And like there's so many times I have been struggling and I've gone on and made a funny video and I'm struggling, but people's comments help me. Like as much as people think I help them, it is very much a 50-50. Like if I need a bit of something, it can give me that hit.
Yeah.
But with the eating disorder stuff, I'm so proud that has happened. But like I have no pride or ego. I didn't intend on it to be a thing.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy to say like, yep, I've been through it. A lot of people have, and if you need help, like I can help or send you in the direction of helplines and things that can actually help, you know, professionally.
Do you feel like you nearly had to go through that for it to be you now? Do you know, for you to learn from that type of thing?
From an eating disorder or sharing about it?
From sort of like everything, I guess. Like I was saying about like the trolls and things.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of makes you the person like sitting in this seat now.
I think so, because I'm very much like when I'm coming to do this, like I used to be very much like, this is what I'm gonna say, and this is da-da-da-da, and please don't ask me about this, and I don't care. Like I am an open book, which is a great thing, but I also don't really have a choice. Like because I shared stuff like that, I'm like, well, there's not much else to which like is hard sometimes. If like you Google me, this will all come up. So I sometimes struggle. I'm like, I can wake up in the middle of the night like having a panic attack, and I'm like, people don't need to know that I struggled with that. It's very vulnerable. But again, like,
is that from sharing something in your content maybe, or some sort of like I've shown too much?
Yeah, like I am still very strategic with what I share, because acting is always the goal, and like everything is in my head like PR checked. Because I never want to be sloppy. I've never spoke ill about someone online, or if there's a brand. There's a big trend at the minute, de-influencing. So like say these jeans, and people were like, say if I advertise them, people would be like, that's because she got them for free, which I did not, I paid for these. But I will never de-influence. So a lot of people are getting a lot of views de-influencing, but I don't like that, because you're slandering a brand. I just doesn't, like there's certain rules I have. I just don't do. It's just sloppy and messy, and there's certain things I know if I did for views, I'd get them. But that's not, my end goal's acting, and there's certain things that I can and can't do because of that.
Would you read like hate comments, or would you not even like
I don't
acknowledge
look.
it?
But like people are always like, just don't look, but they'll message you them. So like it's hard to not, like you could have, like my sister could send me like a reel, and I'm looking at it, and then the message above is like your dead dad, is that even real? Like people are asking that, and I'm like, yeah, it's real.
Yeah. That is crazy to me that people say that type of thing.
Like I think it's really actually like this has been the icing on the cake for me, that like trolls actually don't count. To troll someone over their dead, like it doesn't even affect me, because I'm like, there's no ounce of genuine, like if someone's saying, like I've had it always about my weight, which is a hard one because I've had eating disorders and stuff. I'm like, well, maybe they're right, because, you know, I had a muffin for breakfast instead of eggs, or whatever the crack is. But to troll someone over something that's A, a fact, and B, an emotional thing, like, they're just trying to troll you.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, I'm like, it just further helps me be like, they literally don't matter. They do not count. They're not real people. The thing is, when you close your phone, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Like, I've never in my life experienced a negative person
In real life.
in real life. Please. Now that I said that,
Yeah,
don't
leave here.
make that a thing.
So if you're in Belfast, would people come up to you and
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Normally, yeah. It's.
how does that feel? I guess like people. In
I
your,
used to think I would be like, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
I actually developed panic attacks and have medication for that. And I say that because I'm not promoting medication or anything like that, but that's what I use. And I think I'm very much now, because of the eating disorder things that have been shared, I take pride in being like an honest, relatable person online, because it literally is just me, but I'm recording myself. I always say that to people. They're like, I've nothing to post. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, but neither do I. Like, I'm just pressing record. So if you just press record,
Yeah.
like, I am no different than someone next door. So that's why, like, with stuff like that, I'll always share. But it does make me laugh when people come up. But it used to be only on nights out. When people had a drink, they were like, yeah!
Through the confidence to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like, it's very funny. Because like, it used to be just Belfast. Now it's, like, home. And, like, my friends and I, we were in Liverpool for Taylor Swift. And there was a load of people there. But or when I was at a Morgan Wallen concert in London too, one of my friends were like, you're across the water. And I was like, no, but everyone speaking to me has a Northern Irish accent. Like, it's just us abroad.
Yeah.
But it's like the people that come up, like, my content's for the girlies, and I just feel like if there's someone that, and I can tell if there's been a few people that have said, like, you help me with, like, mental health or with this or what jeans to wear, or like, if there's, like, I will so rarely, the biggest thing I get is people are like, you're actually quite good looking, and I'm like,
No way.
right. Because I post with, like, I have my dressing gown on that has curry down it, I have no makeup on, like, I have eye bags. When I actually did my first TV show, Hope Street, the makeup artist put me down, like, I was like a prisoner. I escaped from prison. So I was blonde, and I had extensions. They took my extensions out, they dyed my hair brown. I had like an Ozzy Osbourne haircut. I couldn't have looked worse in my life.
Yeah.
I was like beaming from ear to ear. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
And the makeup artist was like, I'm really surprised how you're taking this. And I was like, this is my dream. I don't care. Like, I'm really happy that I don't care how I look online. But the biggest thing I get is like, oh, you're actually quite good looking. I'm like, wow, I must post some bad things that people see me out and about and they're like, she's actually all right.
That probably comes from like accounts that have like no like face and no name and you know, that type of thing. No.
No, like people in person.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but they're being nice. And like, it just makes me laugh, especially as a single person. I'm like posting literally, I couldn't, like, I could use a hairbrush, do you know what I mean? But I don't.
Do you think it's hard to date whenever you're like an influencer or like a content creator?
Oh, I get this question. I think
It's not even written down. It's just given.
I do. So like my biggest questions are about my love life.
Oh really?
And I never talk about it online. I never have. I don't think I ever would. But like like I did have Hinge. I have a lot of fake profiles on Hinge as well. Which, by the way, they're not me.
Funny, people have actually who've been on the podcast have said that. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
it's so
I don't know
weird.
why. Yeah.
Because like you're not gonna meet, or if you do, like it's not. I don't get why
Someone would think that. Like
Yeah. But I mean, I do think it's hard to date, but I think that might be me. Like I
actually think in this generation it's probably harder to date than like ever because less people are like going out, less people are like socializing.
Well, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just like if I was speaking to someone, the first thing I'm doing is googling them or
background check.
Yeah, 100%. And like if you Google me, like the things that can come up are not pretty, they're not attractive, they're not like, it's very real life, which is like very wife, but not very like first date. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I personally avoid it because I'm in my career era.
Yeah.
Still. I think it's difficult, but I also am like, it's just one thing that I never share or talk about. There's nothing to share really though. But like I did once, I was like, right, I'm gonna do a date in story time, and like hundreds of thousands of views. Like I think because people think I'm hiding things, which like, I'm really not. Like, but yeah, no, the thought of like, could you imagine if you were sitting down and the waitress is like, I follow you on TikTok, and the person's like, sorry. So that gives me the fear, so I just avoid it altogether, which is a healthy way to respond.
Probably best. Just one thing, going back to the TikTok, like I think I already know the answer, but like what makes you unique in like your industry?
I think that there's nothing unique about me. And that's why people like me, is I'm literally like them. I have no talent. I'm saying that, I believe my acting is a talent, but I mean me posting online. There's nothing that I'm doing. I am not great with cameras. I don't like technology. There is I'm never ahead of a trend. I'm the last to a trend, but I'm consistent. And I truly believe, when I look back at the videos that have done well, except for random viral ones, it's just, I think people are like, oh, I'm like that, or that's like me, and that's why I really do encourage people, if you want to post, I think there's a very big thing of just post a video, and some people don't want to, and honestly I don't know if I would recommend it because of the trolling side. It's very, with what I want to do, it's helpful because it gives me, I can work for myself. I say that as if I wasn't made redundant and had to, but still, it has given me so much opportunity. But it's not people say influencer, and that word's so terrible, and they get a free tan, they're so ungrateful. But it's people have no, you're getting bullied on your phone. You're waking up, you're thinking, my brain doesn't, I have my notes on my phone, if that ever leaked, it's just this content, or dating, I do, for me, I'm picking my career right now, which is eventually might be, I could regret that, but I don't think the two go hand in hand unless you're doing, there's some people that it does work well with, and that's great. I know I'm just romantic. I would be I don't need the TikTok, I'm in love, and I would chuck it all, which I don't want to do right now. So I'm just so laser focused that you do have a lot of sacrifices that outweigh a £20 bottle of tan. Do you know what I mean?
I get you. If someone wants to grow their social media following, not even necessarily want to do your type of content, but just do it. Yeah. Would you have any advice?
If you want to be a content creator, so what I do would be lifestyle. I would say that's the worst category to go into if you want to grow fast or grow. If you like running, go into running content. If you like creating food, create food content, because it's very simple to add a call to action, which is follow for more recipes. You can follow straight away. Yeah, you're I want more recipes. If you look through, my following list is PTs and people that create food, because I love their content, and they're always they get me, and I know what they're doing, and they're follow for more. I'm I will do that.
Just automatically.
I'm okay. Whereas with lifestyle, that's not. It's following someone's lifestyle, and I love the type of content that I produce and create. But if you want a get rich quick or a get fame fast, this is not the category for that.
Yeah.
Niche down into something that you're good at and stick with it. But there's there's no age limit. There's no if you like walls, there's anything is available. So it's I don't see a negative point except for trolling. But if that's your negative point, why would you let invisible people that are not real stop you from succeeding?
Yeah. Did you ever feel from coming from Kesh, small mentality people maybe around you, saying wee things that get into your head?
Because Kesh is so small.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, well again, it's literally me and my cousins. I moved to Belfast, I did the Chicago thing and all, the minute I left school I left. So I now I think it's different because when I go home people love it. Yeah. And they're the people are the best. They're we love it. They're just so nice. I don't know what it would have been like in the midst of it, but I do feel so lucky that I was in that bubble of, I didn't have external judgment, which would have probably, would have been easily swayed at the time. So I didn't have that external judgment. So for people that are starting, you really do need to not look or not care. And I do think no matter what, if you're here, America, London, people will be judging you, but sometimes it's the inner circle. If you're worried, I remember there was this one person I was always worried about what they thought. And then I was why? If someone's judging that, they're not your people. You've got to really protect your inner circle because you're going to get hate online, so you can't have it in-house.
Yeah, that's one thing. The reason why I ask it was because I sort of feel I can relate to that, because whenever we said, I think it was 2021 we started the podcast, and people who knew me were what are you doing? You're not like that, and you're but you just had to do it anyway. Essentially, is what I found. So that's what I sort of wanted to ask you and be from someone who's super successful in that sort of content.
Is that me?
Yeah, I mean, you're
super successful.
Well, I mean, like for someone getting 10 views, 100 views may be successful.
Okay,
then.
true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you not see yourself as like successful in what you do? No.
Like the level of where I want to go
Yeah.
versus my current reality is like, it's stupid, but like that is my thing will always be, because for the longest time I didn't do socials because, and when I did it, it wasn't like this, because I was like, because I can be funny and stuff, and my friends were like, you should post like you do well, and I was like, no, I can't be a reality star, I'm gonna be at the Oscars, you know, like you can't be on Love Island and be in Bridgerton, like you've got to kind of pick, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
But my like vision will never change, but the path and how I'm going to get there has sort of waved, and if this is the path, I'm happy with it, but I do have to say no to certain things and stick with a path, which is, I would say, keep your integrity when you're doing it, because opportunities come thick and fast, and you really have to think, like, I always think of, you got to think of yourself as a brand. Will that work? And will it benefit you in the long run? Like sacrificing who you are for what, like there's been a few things I could have got rich very quick and done, and like don't come from a wealthy background, and like anything I've had to really, really work. Like I have had the wildest jobs, but at the same time, bills need paid.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very privileged thing for someone to sit in a position of mine and be like, oh, I wouldn't work with you, like that brand. Best believe in the start I worked with any brand that was going to offer me money, and except for like there was some that were like, okay, that's too far. But I think people are quick to judge people online, whereas if you went into like like I worked in a call centre when I first moved to Belfast, and no one judged me for working for Sky. Did I believe in Sky and I don't know what they're, you know, whereas if it's an online, people are like, do they really believe in these genes? You know, I'm not sure if I believe her. I think there's double standards there of if someone's a teacher, do they really believe in the education system? They might find a lot of flaws in it.
Yeah.
But for an influencer or a content creator, it's like, oh, I'm not sure. But it could just be that person's trying to make sure that there is a roof over their head that month, their car payment is made, and that, you know, they've got like food in the fridge. Which I think I'm very passionate about. I think it's just very judged. And back to what you were saying about when people judge, I do think the inner circle is something that can be the worst, but it's always an inward reflection of them.
Do you keep your inner circle tight?
It's like locked down.
Yeah. Is there many in it, or is it more?
Like recently there's like I have my two sisters on my rocks and my mum as well. But my sisters keep me in check.
Yeah.
Like, my little sister's always very positive, and my older sister's like, didn't like this. I wouldn't have done, but like in the best. She's like, I always say she'll be like the best manager. I want her to be my manager, because she's just, it's black and white. She's she is a manager in what she does, but like, and then my little sister's just always very like, I'm like, wait, like, what if I did it? She's like, no, you're good. I've got you. And then like, most of my best friends are actually in this industry too, which is, I wouldn't have had them if I wasn't in this industry.
You can relate with each other.
Yeah, and like, if I'm getting trolled, they're like, okay, like we get it, or vice versa. I'm like, okay, you know, let's do this or let's do that.
They're getting it too. Yeah.
So my inner circle is like, I have a lot of friends, but my best friends are like, it's
locked
ride or
in.
die. Yeah.
You actually touched on something really interesting there. You talked about like your vision.
Yeah.
What is your vision?
Oh, I like this. Like, I will be at the Oscars.
Do you see that? Like, do you like
I
how
do.
far? Yeah.
And I always have, and that is crazy. And people are like, "Oh my gosh, like, what's she hiding?" Like, there's no rhyme or reason. In my head, this will be stitched in like 3 years, and people will be like, that's, I'm talking it out loud, but I'm also not lying about it online. Like, I have no path for that, but like, I pray very hard, and there's a reason I have that dream internally, and like whether it happens or it doesn't, that's a whole other thing, but I will always aim for that. And I work very, very hard behind the scenes with stuff that I can't share to make that happen.
I like the way you say you talk it into like existence.
You have
like
to.
Even like podcasts, like how do you feel like doing them? Because you were on 2 others, weren't you? You were on like
I've been on a few, yeah.
Best of Belfast,
Yes.
and there was a Meet the Parents or something, was it? There was something. There was another one
Meet the parents.
with your comedian woman.
Oh, Diona Docherty.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, her. I thought you were meeting my parents.
No,
I
no.
don't remember filming my mum and dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Diona's was so much fun. Like she's brilliant. She's hilarious, and I love like again a female in that industry.
Yeah.
And I'd actually just done a stand-up comedy, which is one thing I would say to people is like I did not want to do that.
Yeah.
That was terrifying. But if any, I was going to say the BBC, but the BBC or ITV, UTV, any broadcasting agency comes knocking on my door, like people need to understand, I've been auditioning for probably 16 years now and I'm 28. Like this was day one plan. I have been knocking on their door. If someone comes to me and they're like, here's an opportunity, do you want it? And I was like a fifth choice for the last place because people kept saying no. I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
For the
The stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
That was the most scariest thing.
I actually listened to that on Monday
Oh.
night. I did because
was-
I didn't even know whenever it came out, but whenever like I was doing my research and things,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, like comedy's a hard thing.
I salute any comedian ever.
Yeah.
Because to get on that stage and you have to sit with the fact these people know I wrote this to make them laugh and they mightn't laugh.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And like, I love being on stage. I have no beef there. Like, some people were nervous to get on stage. I was like, no, you can put me on stage. I'd rather hosted it.
Yeah.
But that was the opportunity that I had, so I had to take it. That's one thing I would say to anyone that's wanting to do, well, I think anything. Like, take your opportunity, I was not equipped. I was not ready. I did not want to be there.
Yeah.
I had the best time. Now some of my best friends are from that as well, and like I get so much advice from the people I did it with.
Because I seen a bit at the start where like it was Aaron Butler and someone else was
Yeah.
like, you did your like rehearsal essentially,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, you could do this and this.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, like for you to like hear that criticism nearly,
Yeah.
and then to go out in front of a crowd must be
It was
ballsy.
terrifying.
Yeah.
It was terrifying. So it was Aaron Butler and Dave Elliott.
Yeah.
I'm actually good friends with Aaron Butler. We ran a half marathon together
Really?
accidentally, yeah.
Content.
I know, I was like, Aaron?
Oh, what, you didn't plan that?
No. We seen him at the start line. But like, it's stuff like that there's like, he's a fantastic person, and because of influence and things that I've done, I got that opportunity because I've met him through that. So there's so many people that I've met that have created opportunities for me that I would not have had.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is the path to the Oscars, but there's something that this is doing that I think will put me in the right rooms with the right people. And then when the time comes, I am still working on my skill set and my talent to do that. And like I always say, I have no pride or no ego. It's embarrassing to be like, this is what I want to do. And like the trolls love my acting stuff. They're like, actor, she's been in one program and 2 ads or whatever. But like, I'm proud that I've been in those because I remember sitting at like 12 being like, watching TV being like, how am I going to get on it? I have no foot in the door. I have no money behind me. I have no talent or resources to audition. I didn't even know how to get an agent. Like there were so many things that I now want to help other people. And whether it happens for me or it doesn't, like I'll never stop auditioning and giving it everything.
Yeah. What's next for you, I guess? What's next on the
Ooh.
cards for?
Like today.
If you want, yeah.
No,
Or where can, I guess, people like find you? Is there events coming up? Is there anything you're doing like the comedy thing? Is there anything where like,
I will
meet you
never do
here?
that again. That was like the best thing ever, but like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, you'll not find me there again. Well, actually, I'll never say never because dear knows what I'll be doing. Like, if you need me, I'm always on TikTok. Like, that's where to find me, or Instagram. I'm actually now on Snapchat, so please add me on Snapchat, follow me on Snapchat. This is the new thing.
Yeah.
Snapchat. Like, I had to re-download it. I couldn't remember my password. Shock. But like event-wise and stuff, I've actually very much scaled back because I'm currently living at a home in Fermanagh. But I mean, I'm in London a lot, I'm in Dublin a lot, I'm in Belfast a lot, and I'm auditioning a lot. Like there was 2 auditions I did last week. Both of them would change your life, or I might never hear back from them. So hopefully when this is out, I'll be like on a plane.
There's only a couple of questions left.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, and I've sort of left these to like the last because we sort of ask these on like every podcast.
Yeah.
But like, what do you do? Like, what's your like daily routine? What's your thing you do that makes you you, essentially?
So I actually used to not have one, which isn't good for me. I think you need to suit yourself. But so I now wake up at like 5:36, which if you'd have told me that, I'd be like, no thanks. But I think you're a morning or an evening. So like as much as I am so productive, like 5:30 to like 1 or 2 p.m. After that, I need to get my stuff done in that block, because after
Early
that,
hours,
it's
yeah.
like, it's watered down. So I wake up, the first thing I'll always do is make myself a coffee. I'm really walking you through it here. Make myself a coffee, and then I'll do my Bible reading. And it's like a Bible meditation thing, and it just really recenters me. It takes away the whole, like, the comparison trap of others, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, it really recenters me and grounds me. And I don't go on my phone. That's like the biggest tip I give people. I don't go on my phone. It's on Do Not Disturb to 9. So I'm up from 5:30. So I live like a whole life before I see what's happening online.
Yeah.
So I will then go and do some form of exercise. Like 4 days a week I try and exercise, like Pilates or running, or my sister's a Peloton, which we love at the minute. And then like again, we're back in the ice bath, just because I'm having like panic attacks and things. It really helps recenter me. And again, like, I love sharing those things, because that's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed. It's like trying to find ways to help, like, control things. And then,
Do you think it helps?
Sorry?
Do you think it helps, like the ice bath? Do you think
I think so. So, like,
yeah.
what I struggle with at the minute is my panic attacks. I'll get lightheaded and like I'm about to faint. So when you're in an ice bath, you can't control your head, and mine does start to like float away on me. But then it has to come back, and like I know I'm safe. I'm not in an environment that's dangerous or whatever. So like I feel it's definitely helping me recenter that. But like I'm terrified of sharks, so I cannot get in like the loch anymore. Like an ice bath thing is fine. But I think it's helping. I don't know, but like don't always catch me in an ice bath, because I don't like it as much as I love it. So I'll do that. I really am into my like wellness at the minute, because I think you've got to look after yourself, especially now for what I'm going through. But
keep the mental in check.
100%.
Yeah.
Because like no one's gonna do that for you. Like you like the biggest piece of advice that I could give that I wish I'd learnt is like you're looking after you no matter what. And I think you can, like, I'm like the #1 candidate for burnout. Like it's like I could schedule, I could tell you when like it's every 3 months. It's so simple to follow. Because I take pride in working very hard. And again, I think, like, I'm in a privileged position now. I can pick and choose jobs. I wasn't, and some people aren't. And I think I have nothing but adoration for people that work themselves that hard to just try and, you know, keep themselves afloat. But try as hard as you can to look after yourself.
Would you listen to, like, just a couple of things you were saying, like the law of attraction type thing, and like, would that be a big thing?
So like, yes, but more faith-based. So my prayer meditation will be very much like manifestation, if you want to call it. Like it'll be like, well, it's literally the same thing. It's just different names. It's like, so what is your, you know, your goal and your vision for this and that? And like, I think you also got to give yourself hope. Yeah. You know, again, no one knows what's going to happen in the future, but it's without those things, I think I would be. Well, I am cuckoo, but I would be like crazy. Yeah.
Was there anyone you seen growing up you're like, I want to be like that person?
I'm kind of grown, but Jodie Comer is my favourite like actor. She's like from Liverpool, so I feel like a lot of big actors are American, and I'm like,
so
what
close.
she's done. Yeah. And it's also not London, you know, she's actually from Liverpool. I just like I am obsessed with her. So she's like my obsession.
Yeah. Do you have any like mentors, or is anyone like sort of?
I've had a lot of mentors. Like one of my best friends, Sophia Adley, I have to give her a shout out. She helped me understand what an agent was. She helped me understand what a casting director was, who to go for a headshot. There's so many things that you don't know unless you've a foot in the door or until you know them. Yeah. And like I learned that a lot later in my life, as in I was probably 16, but I knew what I wanted to do from like 3. So like if I'd have known those things, it would have been a lot smoother sailing. So there's now like people that I will help with influencing and acting if I can. Like I do not know the answers, but
help them anyway,
if I can help, So I have a lot of different people that like keep me sane.
Grounded as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need that?
To be grounded?
Yeah.
No, I am so self-deprecating, and if anything, I need someone to be like, you're actually doing all right, you know?
Yeah. If say like the 2019 version of Abby was watching this.
Oh, I know.
What do you think you would say?
To which one?
If the 2019 version was watching this, like just on her thing, is there anything you would say specifically?
Oh my gosh, like I was like a receptionist, like dying for auditions, and grinding so hard, and that's why I think I am here. As I said, I don't have a special set of talents. I'm a hard worker. That's why I'm here. And like I would thank her, because without the hard work, none of this would be here. But I also would show a lot more self-care because I didn't, and that's rough. And I think it's something in Northern Ireland we're not good at.
Yeah.
And it is like, but it's male and female. Like men's mental health is as important as female, and you know, whatever you're going through is valid. It's another middle child thing. Like I've started saying, if I'm having like a silly tiff with like my mum, I'm like, my feelings are valid because they are. But so is yours and whoever else's. So I think like just having a bit more self-belief would have been good.
Big thing, yeah.
But at least I'm humble.
Yeah, I know. And then one more for you. This is the last one. If someone was maybe looked up to you and maybe thought to themselves, I want to be a content creator, and came up to you on the street, is there anything you would say or any one piece of advice you would give them?
Just go for it. But embarrassment is the cost. You know, like your first video is not gonna be great. You are gonna, like I post to this day stuff and I'm like, that's cringe, like, but I'll click post. Hard work will get you as far as you can go. So you've gotta work hard, but being cringy, being embarrassed, and other people's judgment will come. But is that worth stopping what you really want? And I always like that quote of sacrificing who you are for like what you will become. I think you really have to kind of sit on that and, you know, okay, yeah, this person's going to judge me. In 10 years, I want to be at the Oscars. Will they be at the Oscars? I don't think so. You know, like you've got to think long term.
Yeah.
And implement it short term.
Wow. Abby, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming down as well. And
of course.
Hopefully 2025 will be big for you. I can see it like.
We'll see.
But anything else you want to say when you're here?
No, thank you for having me.
No problem. What's planned for the rest of the day, did you?
So I'm filming with UTV. Can we say that? Yeah. Can I say that? Is this thing on?
Yeah.
So I'm filming a documentary at the minute about content creators, influencers, behind the scenes and stuff. So we are filming today, and then I'm actually having a little Christmas night out.
Are you?
Yeah. So we'll see
Where
how
are
that
you
goes. I don't know. Dear knows.
See what takes you.
Yeah, as long as there's a spicy margarita, I'll be happy.
Is that the go-to?
100%.
Abby, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
That has been all from the official Young Hunger podcast. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.